Hello my loves and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been a while since I have last vlogged, and let me just position myself here. Perfect. And I was inspired to come back. Bit hot. I was inspired to come back because I feel like I have a message to send, and coming up to the festive season, I know that it brings a lot of anxiety for people in terms of food and social occasions. So I thought, why not share my experiences and the tips that I personally give clients so that they can have a better relationship with food. So whether or not you celebrate Christmas, you probably have a lot of social events coming up. And in Australia in particular, it's also summertime, although as you would have seen from my scenes outside, it's currently raining very heavily, it's very windy, and I'm also wearing a jacket, which is not in character for me in summer. It should be around like 30 degrees, averaging 30 degrees at the moment, but alas. It's been a pretty dreary summer for us. So before I give you the tips, I'm gonna give you a bit of a background on myself. My name is Eliana Marie and I am a women's health and mindset coach. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about these tips in relation to how I used to feel about my body, how I used to feel around foods. Bit of a background, I am Filipino, grew up in a Filipino household and community, and there was always an abundance of food at the table. And I think living with, a big family, 3 other siblings, it was like whoever gets the food first gets the food, and if you don't get the food you feel FOMO, and we always had the mentality of finish what's on your plate. And so for me, growing up, I always gravitated towards eating a lot of food or putting more food on my plate so I don't miss out, and those behaviors carried through adulthood. Now when these behaviors kind of became more unhealthy for me was when I started in the kind of phase of life where I'm a young adult, I want to be lean, I want to be, toned. It was that age of, Instagram just came out. We had Katie Hearn, Kayla Itsines releasing her bikini body guide. So that was very much the norm. So I started dipping my toes into dieting and into exercising, and I'll do a longer story on this as well in terms of my journey on how I overcame binge eating, because it was quite a dark place. It was not a fun time. But what I'm going to talk to today is how I overcame that dieting mentality, which to me, when I had the dieting mentality, I need to eat low calories, I need to eat clean, it led to episodes of overeating during social events, during the holidays, to the point where I didn't enjoy it. I would mentally restrict myself. And then what would happen is I would overeat to the point of sickness, and I felt really, really bad. So fast forward to now, I am 27 years old and I am in the healthiest state of mind in terms of my relationship with food and my relationship with my body. So today we're going to focus more on your relationship with food, and a caveat, I am not a psychologist. If you are experiencing an eating disorder, please seek the relevant help from the relevant professional. What I'm about to share with you today is general advice to people who do struggle with their relationship with food and want to have a healthier mindset around it. So let's get started.
1 week later.
I'm going to go rogue. I'm actually editing this now a few days later, and I was thinking, why not share with you the snippet of the masterclass that I gave out to my clients, where I was coaching them through how to navigate the festive season, to have a better relationship with food and a better relationship with your body. So that is what I'm going to do now. So still aligned with what I want to teach you guys, but a more detailed version. So the tips I'm about to share with you ladies is how you can have a better time during this festive season, even though you are already feeling good. Just some tips to help you still live a healthy and aligned lifestyle whilst being able to enjoy yourself. So my number 1 tip is to act in alignment with your values. So what do you value during this time? And I know I think all of you ladies, you value being able to spend time with family, being
able to eat the foods you love. And then that's how you act. When we act not in alignment in our values, for example, in the past, I used to be like, okay, I'm going to come into this dinner and I'm only going to eat one plate of food. I'm going to fast before. And that's not actually what I value. I don't value depriving myself of food before a social event, which actually leads to more instances of overeating because you're coming in there hungry and then you cave and you're like, it's the fuck it mentality. Oh, fuck it. I've already had this food. I'm just going to go overboard. And that's not who I am. So ask yourself, what do I value during this period of time? Can I honor what I value? When we don't act in alignment with our values, we feel a dissonance. And that dissonance between who we actually are and what we want versus what we do instead causes anxiety. So be clear on what you value during this time. And by the way, if anyone has any questions during this, feel free to stop me. Number 2 is set and stick to daily non-negotiables. So Jamie, you said, I'm not quite sure how to navigate this time of, I want to be able to enjoy food with my family, but I don't want to skip out on gym. I don't want to not live a healthy lifestyle. This is where daily non-negotiables come in. That's why I'm so big on this. So instead of having the aim of, yep, I'm going to hit all my gym sessions, can you have the aim instead of, I'm going to move my body for 30 minutes a day? Whether that's walking in the morning or walking in the evening at sunset, how can you move your body? Or whether that's doing your training session. So whether or not you hit your training session, you're still moving your body, and moving your body is aligned to an active lifestyle. In terms of eating healthy foods and not wanting to stray away from that, you can still eat healthy foods during the festive season. For example, have a healthy and well-balanced breakfast before the Christmas lunch with the family, or before the Christmas dinner with the family. So you can have the non-negotiable of having one high protein meal a day that's balanced with protein, carbs, and fats. So a list of non-negotiables that you could do. So drinking 2 liters of water, getting 7 hours of sleep. To me, it's moving your body for 30 minutes a day, which I realized I placed twice in that list. No phones 30 minutes before bed. No phones when eating. 20-second cold shower in the morning. So pick 3 non-negotiables that you're going to do so that you're still taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, of your mental well-being. For example, if you get overwhelmed during family events, it's telling yourself, I'm going to take a 10-minute walk after my meal to help with better digestion, and also to give myself some time to breathe and to think away from family. Next one, remember where your power lies. So this is the internal versus external locus of control. And for those who haven't come across this locus of control, this is what it means. So I'll start with an external. An external locus of control is you perceive that things happen to you. It's more so that victim mentality, like woe is me, or they forced me to eat this food, or I felt bad and didn't want to say no, and they kept pressuring me. So I ate something I didn't want. Why bother? Why does everything bad always happen to me? So you feel like you're not in control of anything at all. You blame the weather, other people, and you don't take responsibility for your actions. An internal locus of control is knowing I have the power to react in whatever way I want. People don't have power over me. Like, yes, it can affect me, but I choose to control my thoughts, my feelings, my behaviors in the moment. Not to say that having an internal locus of control is easy. This is a muscle that you develop and you work on getting stronger, much like when you go to the gym and you want to get stronger in your lifts. It takes practice and it takes time. So have an internal locus of control. If you don't want to eat the food, you can say no. Like Jess said, I know what I want to eat and I know what I don't want to eat, and I have the power to say no or yes. Same thing with your health. Like you have the power to do your daily non-negotiables and stick to those. So it's your choice. So bring the power back to you versus giving your power away. And I also do this with food. It's like with food, I think I used to work for a chocolate company, and when I was doing bodybuilding comp prep, I'd be like, oh yeah, I overate because work had this lunch on and they had this grazing platter. And it's like, it's not my work's fault. I need to take responsibility for my actions. So bring the power back to you and remember where it lies. And this also applies with body image, which I'll talk to in a second. This one, you guys have already brought up in your comments. Focus on being present with loved ones. How often in the year do we actually spend time with the people that we love amidst work, amidst our hobbies, amidst life in general? Like, I know I personally don't see my family, every week because they're in Adelaide. So when I'm in Adelaide, I'm going to focus on being present with them instead of being on the phone, instead of scrolling on social media. Actually listen to the person, show love, and also lead by example, because sometimes, people will be the ones scrolling while talking to you. Like, lead by example. Best thing you can do. Body image wise, focus on living in your body versus observing it. One of the biggest things that fuels negative body image is just constantly picking at yourself. You're just looking at yourself just like you're an object. And that's a phenomenon called self-objectification, where you just see your body as a body. But remember that you are more than a body. You have a soul in this body, and you're meant to live and experience life in this vessel. So one of my favorite sayings is, remember your body is an instrument, not just an ornament to be observed and looked at. Now, it can be really hard to do this when other people make comments about our bodies. And I know during family events, Filipinos always, like, when you go home, especially in the Philippines, oh, you look skinny, or oh, you've gained weight. And people are so quick to comment on what your body looks like. And so it's up to you to remember that you're more than a body. Which leads me to my next thing. You have to separate yourself from yours and other people's thoughts. And this is what I mean by that. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are your conditioning. It's what you have been brought up to believe. And sometimes those thoughts are not necessarily healthy thoughts. And you're also not other people's thoughts of you. So remember that you can't control what other people think, say, and do. So remember the external locus of control. Their beliefs and how they operate are built on how they were brought up, what they're exposed to, their experiences, and it's a projection of their inner world. So if someone makes, a not so nice comment on your body, practice compassion, understand that, hey, this person went through their own experiences. This is what they think of, people's bodies, and potentially what they think of themselves. So remember that it's not you, because I know some comments from family members or friends can be really triggering during this time. So yes, and this is why I love doing tribe calls and coaching you guys in your mindset, because you develop a very strong sense of self-awareness. And when you develop a strong sense of self-awareness, you also become aware of others. And remember that a lot of people are living unaware of themselves and how their words and actions impact others. So remember to separate yourself from yours and other people's thoughts, and practice compassion when people trigger you as well. Next one, don't dress rehearse tragedy. What I mean by this is when you're overthinking of what's going to happen in the future. For example, oh, if I eat this much, how much weight will I gain? Or if I go to this social event, what will people think of my body? Don't assume that people will make mean comments about you or are thinking down about you. And also, don't assume bad things about yourself. That is your own projection. Okay, does this make sense, guys? Yep, cool. And then the last thing is lead by example and lead with love, which I've just mentioned. If other people, one thing I find as well, other people make comments on their food. They go, oh, I shouldn't be eating this because, I really need to watch my weight. Or I don't want to be in this photo because I look fat. And sometimes we don't necessarily want to tell people off for those. So lead by example, lead with love, show your appreciation for your body, or show how happy you are to be present with family and eating food in peace. And this is my thing with coaching as well. Like, I always aim to lead by example, always aim to lead with love. And that's honestly the best thing you can do during the festive season. And I don't know if you guys have watched Elf, but I love the quote, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing it loud for all to hear. And that's what kind of I mean by leading by example and with love.
Those are my top tips. I hope they've been helpful for you. They're certainly helpful for me, and you know, looking back, I reminisce so much on those moments because I'm like, oh my gosh, why were you acting that way? Why were you feeling this way? And I share this with you because there is totally a better way to do it. There's a better way to experience the festive season with a lot more love, a lot more fun and enjoyment versus the fear-based mentality you may be experiencing now. So all the best, my loves, and I will get back to you with another episode or another video, I guess, episode. I don't know why I said episode. Oh, make sure you like, share, subscribe, share it with someone who needs this. Give us a like just to make sure whoever does need this can see it in their feed, and comment below your biggest takeout and click that subscribe button. Bye.